the rest of my life. She held my hand, well no, she held my heart, and then she disappeared. She nearly tore me apart.
Well, hey, it's Monday morning. Here in the United States, it's Memorial Day. I was gonna record this last night and post like I normally do, but when I came out, it was a little too noisy. So I want to talk about two things today. One is going to be the red nose. Within our community, there was some discussion about child poverty versus poverty. You can go to the website and see what they do. I'm kind of torn because some of their programs I think are very good and some are not so great. Literacy for children living in poverty is a big deal. It's their way, it's their opportunity to get out. A lot of what happens in poverty is cultural. I can tell you by living in the ghetto, I see people who make very poor choices, and it's cultural. It has to do with how they were raised, what they were taught to value. Things that I'm not impressed by the Red Nose campaign, they talk about healthy choices for food. While I understand the need to educate children who are not fed necessarily the healthiest foods, you can teach them about it, but when they go home they're still going to eat pasta and hot dogs and bologna and noodles and more noodles and potatoes and noodles because it's what their family can afford. The education part of it is important, but I think it may be overrated, because if you can't get the kid eating fruits and vegetables as a kid, it's going to be much harder to get them to do so as an adult. Memorial Day. Today is not actually a holiday. It is a day of memorial. In the United States, we seem to have forgotten that. Like everything, our educational system is dumbing down everything that we do. It used to be called Decoration Day because it was the day that people would go decorate the gravestones of fallen soldiers. And what we're doing today is we're supposed to be remembering those who died in the service of our country. This is not a day for the veterans per se, because we survived. We made it out. This is a day for our brothers and sisters in arms who fell fighting for this country. Whether you believed in the reasons that we've been at combat is immaterial, because the people in the military are fighting at the behest of us, the American people. And I think people forget that sometimes, because they can go ahead and they can go watch their sitcoms, and they can watch their America's Most Talented or The Voice or whatever it is that's popular now. I don't even know. I don't really watch television. And that's why people go and do that. But there's always, and I mean always, there's somebody somewhere in cold, wet, hot, wet, nasty conditions somewhere in the world on behest of our country, which means it's on the behest of the American citizens. And some of those people are going to die, and that's what today's about. I put my name on that dotted line. I went and served in combat, and I was fortunate enough to come back whole. But there are a lot of guys who didn't. I get kind of emotional about it because it's a big deal to me. It's a big deal to me. If you're here in America, remember the people who died for this country. And everything that we have even here in the ghetto, where the poorest of us have food, transportation, phones, satellite television, cable television, a warm place to sleep. Poor in other countries wish they could be poor like you are here in the United States. Remember that I love you, take care of yourself, and rock on.